What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rianne Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Monday. Right now, we are recording on Sunday, February 14th. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, boo.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Noah.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, Noah.
I was thinking today as I was getting ready, I was like, I wonder if Noah is like a romantic Valentine's Day type of person. But then
No, can confirm not. No.
yeah, then I was like, there's no way. There's just no way that's happening. Happy Valentine's Day to all our listeners out there.
Yes.
You guys are our loves. What's going on, Fran? Because people keep asking me if Hank got me flowers, but like we decided that today wasn't really Valentine's Day.
That's fair. I mean, the flowers can be delivered. Like, you don't need to go anywhere to get flowers.
Right, exactly. I am going to make Crunchwrap Supremes at home. I'm really excited about that. But we haven't been going anywhere because, like we said last episode, Big Cat has corona, so we've been at home.
Yeah. I think we're little home-cooked meals all around. You're cooking. Joe's making cow chewy pepe tonight.
Ooh.
So, yep. It's good stuff. Very calm, cool, collected weekend. Once again, quiet. Didn't do too much. It is Valentine's Day. My Squishmallow count has now gone from 0 to 2. Very excited about that. I ordered one from Five Below that came. That's like a unicorn, and they had initials on them, letters on them. They didn't have F, so I had to get M. So really, like, I could pass that along if you want that one day. It's got an M on it.
Hank went to the store before and came back and was like, oh, I saw one of those things that Fran posts about. And I was like, and you didn't get me one, and it's Valentine's Day? Like, that was a confusing choice on your part, Yeah. Like, if I saw something like that and I was at the store, it was Valentine's Day, I would be like,
and it was
I'm
probably,
pick that up and bring it home.
It was probably one of the Valentine's Day ones. Because those are the ones that are in most of the stores. It
was a confusing message when he got back. I was very confused by that, but I'm happy you're up to, and I think you're going to be up more, because Squishmallows DM'd us on Twitter, and they were like, we want to send a care package to the office, and now what if they send like a whole box of them?
I'll cry.
You're just going to be
so
surrounded by Squishmallows.
Be lit. That's my dream, to just fall asleep in my bed every night and now just have them surrounding me. You don't, like, the baby Yoda one that I just got in Costco that's like massive, you just hug that thing and you feel amazing. It's just like, you fall right into it. It's absolutely amazing. My sister's been on the lookout for that one for a while, the big one. She hasn't been able to find one near her. So I got 2 so I could send her one. Her birthday's coming up.
None for Joe?
Mr. Picky, he has one in mind that he really wants. And so we're on the lookout for Herb the Turtle if anybody sees him.
Oh, that's specific. That's specific.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one he's got his eyes on. So one day we'll see. But yes, they just had the Disney ones in the Costco we went to, which was, fine. It was perfect. We just got a couple baby Yodas.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the one you wanted anyway. I'm happy for you,
Yeah,
Fran.
I did want that one. Yeah,
Things are looking up.
Yep, things are looking good in the Squishmallow department. Thank you all for helping me on my journey. Everybody, our listeners are really so nice. Like, I got so many messages from girls, like, giving me tips on what they do to find them or where they found them, and lists of places and like direct locations of where they found them and had good stock. It's like, this is fantastic. I'll be able to find them no problem. So it was great.
Squishmallows are just the new pillow pet. Like, remember Pillow Pets? They have just taken the place of, Squishmallows have just taken the place of Pillow Pets.
Yeah. And I think because you can't, like, directly
Pillow Pets, Squishmallows.
Oh, Webkins.
Well, Webkins you were able to play online, so that just was like a whole different atmosphere.
Totally. This with the Squishmallows, I think it's fun too, because it's not like you can just go on their website and find whichever one you want and hit add to cart and it's like delivered. It's a little harder to find. It's kind of more, it's about the chase.
Yeah, they're playing a game with you. Squishmallows are like a boy you're talking to but has not quite settled down. You can't lock them in, but you gotta chase
now
them.
Now it's all about the chase. Like when you actually find the one you want where you want it, is very, very nice. I had girls being like, I'll go to the store and find one and send it to you. I know that they have them. And I was like, I really appreciate that. But like so much of the satisfaction is walking into the store and being like, yes, and finding the one you want and buying it and going home. So I think it's a part of the fun.
Right. It's a pure feeling.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. But nice, calm Valentine's Day. No, but you look like you're in such a good Valentine's Day festive mood that I love it. You got rocking a red lip, a red shirt. Fantastic.
It's not every day you rock a red lip. Okay?
No.
And when it's Valentine's Day, you should rock a red lip. And you're probably listening on Monday now, and you may have missed the memo on the red lip. So throw the red lip on today. You should allow yourself one day out of the month to throw on a red lip. It just makes you feel good. It changes the game. It's not an everyday attire. You don't wear a red lip every day because then it loses its momentum.
It does.
But one day out of the month, wear that red lip. Maybe
because you want to put it on and have the people around you be like, ooh, red lip today.
Yeah, exactly. If you wear a red lip every day, then everyone's like, oh, it's a red lip. It's kind of like my winged eyeliner. It's old news. Everyone's like, she wears that every day, winged eyeliner. Yeah. Cool. Red lip, though, she's coming out to play. Roxy's here. That's my alter ego, Roxy.
Roxy.
Yeah.
Roxy like a puma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when red lip's on, Roxy's here.
Love it. Love it. Well, I think that's going to be great. Kind of sucks that no big plans for the holiday with the situation, but it's fine.
Yeah, we're almost out of it. We're almost out of it. Tested negative every day, so that's fun. So we're good. High hopes for everybody.
Only a few months from summer is what I was saying. I ordered Harry Styles merch.
It's basically summer. It's basically summer, guys.
We're so close.
Middle of February. Once you reach March, it's go time. And now,
we're almost
listen, there. I know that in the middle of January, I was like, okay, now it's the new year. Mm-hmm. The new year starts today, okay? Because I have pushed it off so much that I never started my new year. I really didn't.
2021, baby.
2021 starts today. I think today, also March 1st. You can go either one. It's February 15th. It's like smack in the middle. I feel like, 2021 starts today. If you want to push it off 15 more days, 2021 starts on March 1st. But just know...
Justin Bieber's birthday.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so that's what we'll just start the year. It's the 1 year. Maybe we should just have our calendar year start on the day Justin Bieber DM'd you. So really...
On Valentine's Day?
Yeah, the year really starts today. This is our real calendar year.
Yeah. Happy anniversary to me and the Biebs. Yeah. 1 year since he DM'd me Too Bad. And 1 year since I was in headlines next to Harry Styles and Justin Bieber, looking like I was in a love triangle with them, which I will never forget. And when I woke up today, it wasn't even like Happy Valentine's Day, Hank. It was like Happy Anniversary, Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Yep. It'll go down as a day, a big day for us.
I saw people commenting that they started listening because of that. So if you're still listening because of that day, thank you very much. I'm happy that you joined us for the ride on that day. And to bring you to the point where you said Justin Bieber's birthday is on March 1st. Well, this is what happens to me every 3 months, where I'm like, if I would have just started working out 3 months ago, I would be where I want to be. If I would have just started working out 3 months ago, I would be a person who works out. Once you're working out for 3 months, you're in the rhythm, right?
Yeah.
You do not want to get to June and be like, if I started on March 1st, I would be where I want to be. And when I say you, I'm talking to me, Maria. Yourself, Michelle, Chiffo. Get it together.
March 1st.
This is that Monday. No, it's February. I already started today. So speaking to me, but if you take that motivation, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the topics for today. Obviously, Chris Harrison is stepping aside from the Bachelor franchise for a little bit. He posted a statement about that. Justin Timberlake posted an apology to Janet Jackson and Britney Spears after he received a ton of backlash after the documentary came out. Scott Disick has dyed his hair blonde, and he's still dating Amelia Gray. And we have, one more, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They are having a child, a second one. No more royalty, though, which kind of loses its luster with them. No, I'm kidding. And we have a Melissa Gorga interview, which is awesome. I love when Melissa Gorga comes on the show because she is so brutally honest, and I respect the shit out of it. So let's get into it, starting off with Chris Harrison. I'm sure you've been in the position where you want to skip grocery store parking lots, crowds, lines, whatever it may be, just to get right to the good stuff of grocery shopping, getting the food that you want and getting the hell out of there. Well, Imperfect Foods can help. Get ready to enjoy grocery shopping again with Imperfect Foods. Imperfect Foods is on a mission to reimagine grocery delivery for a kinder, less wasteful world. They deliver sustainable, affordable groceries, including produce, quality protein, eggs, and dairy, and pantry staples, all the right things that you need in your kitchen. At any time, you can whip something up with these groceries straight to your door. Plus, they are always adding fun and tasty new discoveries for you to try each week. All you have to do is sign up, create your flexible, personalized grocery plan, and then shop online each week and get affordable and sustainable groceries delivered directly to your door. That's what I love about it. It just comes directly to your door. You don't need to go anywhere. That is the best part about this reimagined grocery delivery service, right to your door, no worries whatsoever. Imperfect Foods right now, their grocery shopping fits seamlessly into your life, and every week is a tasty adventure like I mentioned before. You're getting all the essentials that you need in your kitchen, your fridge, whatever it is to whip up a good meal immediately, and you don't have to go anywhere. It's coming straight to you. And right now, Imperfect Foods is offering our listeners 20% off plus free shipping on your first order when you go to imperfectfoods.com. Make sure to use promo code CHICKS20. Try Imperfect Foods now, and for a limited time, get 20% off plus free shipping on your first order. Go to imperfectfoods.com and use CHICKS20 to sign up. Once again, that's 20% off plus free shipping at imperfectfoods.com. Offer code CHICKS20. There's no reason not to try it straight to your door. CHICKS20, 20% off at imperfectfoods.com. So if you've been following along this past week in Bachelor Nation, then you know that a lot has gone on. Rachel Lindsay interviewed Chris Harrison about Rachel K's past, and it all went downhill. The way that this was handled was just so poor. They just handled this in the worst way possible. The timeline was a lot of Rachel Kirkconnell's past came up in a TikTok, exposing her racist things that she's done.
Apparently it's Kirkconnell.
Kirkconnell. Okay, cool.
Apparently.
Rachel Kirkconnell.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Rachel K.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of racist things that she's done in her past were exposed in a TikTok. Now, it went weeks before she or anybody addressed it. So Chris Harrison then did an interview with Rachel Lindsay where for 13 minutes he just spewed a bunch of nonsense and sounded terrible. Mm-hmm. Then after that, everybody was mad at Chris Harrison, of course. And then Rachel put out a statement. And now Chris Harrison is stepping aside from The Bachelor. And I don't even see people talking about Rachel K anymore. This has turned into a conversation about Chris Harrison. And everything has just gotten it's so poorly handled in every single way that, of course, it blew up. It didn't have to blow up, and it fucking blew up.
Right. Well, it's. I think Rachel Lindsay had said this on her podcast. You know, the pictures of Rachel that resurfaced, from the Old South plantation party she was at 2018. So she is making a statement about something that has happened a couple years back. Chris Harrison is making a statement about something that just happened, like something that he just said, that he just did. So I think it's felt a little crazier because, as Chris Harrison had said, when he's talking about the looking through the different lenses and whatnot of everything that he was doing. So he, and on top of that, not only did Rachel speak up and talk about this, and, Rachel K put out her statement, but all of Bachelor Nation, it seemed like, put something out and said something and condemned what had happened and said that they did not agree with what went down. Whether it was, the girls from Matt James season all put out a joint statement, the men from Claire and Tayshia's season all put out a statement, but then Caitlin Burstow did a live, Becca Tilley did a live, Ashley I and Jared, literally everyone put something out, said something about it, said that they didn't agree with what Chris Harrison had said. Even Lauren Zima, his girlfriend, said, posted on her story, what Chris did was wrong. So Chris put out another statement over the weekend where he had said, I've spent the last few days listening to the pain my words have caused, and I am deeply remorseful. My ignorance did damage to my friends, colleagues, and strangers alike. I have no one to blame but myself for what I said and the way I spoke. I set standards for myself and have not met them. I feel that with every fiber of my being. Now, just as I taught my children to stand up and to own their actions, I will do the same. By excusing historical racism, I defended it. I invoked the term woke police, which is unacceptable. I am ashamed over how uninformed I was. I was so wrong. To the Black community, to the BIPOC community, I am so sorry. My words were harmful. I am listening, and I truly apologize for my ignorance and any pain it caused you. I want to give my heartfelt thanks to the people from these communities who I've had enlightening conversations with over the past few days, and I'm so grateful to those who have reached out to help me on my path to anti-racism. This historic season of The Bachelor should not be marred or overshadowed by my mistakes or diminished by my actions. To that end, I have consulted with Warner Brothers and ABC and will be stepping aside for a period of time and will not join for the After the Final Rose special. I am dedicated to getting educated on a more profound and productive level than ever before. I want to ensure our cast and crew members, to my friends, colleagues, and our fans, this is not just a moment, but a commitment to much greater understanding that I will actively make every day. From here, I can only try to evolve and be a better man, and I humble myself before all of you. I hope I will again live up to the expectations you all rightfully have for me and the expectations I have for myself. So, this statement has been made. He is stepping aside. Hopefully he is committed to doing all the things that he has said in this statement. And I think it's, very similar to some of these statements that we've gotten in the past, and with Rachel's statement as well. It's like, okay, you have now put it in writing. Let's see it in real life, put it to action. It's the same with Justin Timberlake will talk about it, put out his statement about Britney Spears, and right away everybody's like, well, it's the written word, he probably has somebody help him. Yeah, that's what happens when you have written statements. I'm sure you consult people, you have people help you out, but you put it out, and we just kind of have to hope that Chris means what's on the paper and what he wrote down, and they're committed to making the changes that they need to make.
Right, and I feel like it's just so easy to put out a written statement, whereas if they actually got on a camera and it was a visual statement, then people may respect it more. As for
it feels more heartfelt.
Right, and as the decision of him stepping aside, we've talked about this before, it's really not our place to say whether or not we think it's a good thing or a bad thing or whatever it may be. Obviously, we loved Chris Harrison as a host. We've been watching for, people have been watching for how many years. They loved Chris Harrison as a host, but he fucked up. And like Rachel Lindsay said, and you said, this was this week he said these things, right? And people want to cry about cancel culture, and in some circumstances I get, but it's not something that happened years ago and they're learning and they can say that it was years ago and they've learned from that or whatever it may be. This was this week that Chris Harrison was saying these things. So to me, it doesn't seem like cancel culture in the aspect of they dug up a tweet from somebody from 2013. He was this week talking about it with Rachel Lindsay, made Rachel Lindsay seem less than compared to what he thought. So I feel like, this was probably ABC and The Bachelor, their best decision on their part. Like, I don't think it's being blown out of proportion, because if it was, then they wouldn't be having Chris Harrison step aside. Like, they clearly know that Chris Harrison fucked up, and that's why he's stepping aside. You know what I mean? If this was something where it was like, oh, psh, you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't be doing these things. Not everybody in Bachelor Nation, all the contestants, everybody that watches the show would be speaking up about it. Like, it clearly affected people and it clearly hurt people, so they have to do something about it.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a lot of people talking about, cancel culture versus accountability, and Chris Harrison is being held accountable for what he said, and at this point he is stepping aside. Will he come back? We don't know. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know who's going to replace him. We don't know what's happening. I mean, we're going to see him obviously throughout the rest of the season. It's already been filmed, like the Women Tell All and all these things have already been filmed, but he won't be doing the After the Final Rose. So those are big event. That's a big event. We'll see how ABC and production handle that and what kind of conversation they have during that. And then, we'll just see what happens. We don't have any details of who's going to step in or what the timeline is for Chris Harrison. He didn't give it any specific dates. So we just kind of have to see the next steps that ABC takes, and if they kind of put their money where their mouth is and actually go through with the actions and the changes that they said they were going to make to make sure that there was more just equality in this franchise. And on top of that, I think I listened to it on Friday. I highly recommend, if you haven't listened to it, is Rachel Lindsay's Higher Learning episode with Van Lathan. They were both great speaking on this. I think it's better to hear it sometimes from Rachel, went through this. This just happened to her. So hearing it from her perspective is just a way to help understand her side of it and what went down. And because the people who freaked out and saying, why is this such a big deal? It's not a big deal. Well, listen to Rachel speak about it, and maybe you'll understand on why what he had said was so harmful.
Right. Because all the people who were saying it's not a big deal are just a bunch of white people. And it's like, well, that wasn't, like, he didn't hurt you. His words did not affect you, but they affect Rachel Lindsay and people of color. Like, obviously you're going to want to hear what they have to say about it, and us too. Like, we're just two white girls. Like, we're not going to tell you whether or not Chris Harrison's apology was good, if it was bad, what should be happening with The Bachelor now. Like, we don't know any of that, and we shouldn't be really speaking on what should happen because, like we said, it did not affect us. It wasn't towards us. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think, and by the way, when I said in the beginning, like, it blew up and it didn't have to, I meant the fact that, like, the steps that they took were so backwards. Like,
right. Chris Harrison
should have never spoke about this, to be completely honest. Like, if they just let Rachel K speak about what happened, this would be a totally different story right now. But because The Bachelor and ABC and that franchise, like, have these really strict contracts, I'm guessing, like, I'm not even really sure, or they just tell people, maybe it's not even in the contract, but whether or not the producer said to her, hey, we don't think you should speak about this, and she's on the show and maybe she wins, like, she's gonna end up listening to those people because they're basically in charge of her right now. But I think that something they can learn from this is that they gotta let the contestants speak up when it's time to speak up. Like, that was a moment where they should have been like, Rachel, it's time to speak up. You got to say something. But instead they were like, oh no, we're going to let the host, the host of the show, talk about what you did. Like, it really made no sense, and it was so backwards. And then Chris Harrison just exposed himself, which I guess in hindsight, like, maybe it is better off this way. Right. But at the same time, like, it all could have been avoided. But then at the same time, you're like, well, then this is just what he would have been saying behind the scenes, which is also not good. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. No, we don't know, because it's two conflicting stories with the contract stuff. It's like, Some say she absolutely does have the ability to speak and she could have done it on her own. There were some reports that she wasn't able to. And then there's some that say that Rachel K was asked, like, if it, not specifically, but if you're in that position and you go to a producer or whatnot and say, like, hey, what do you think I should do? Because, you know, this is something that's never happened to you and you're not quite sure how to handle it. And the producers are like, you know what? Just, you shouldn't say anything. We think you shouldn't say anything. That's probably who she listened to first before it just continued to get worse and worse. And and then you were like, okay, maybe she should have said something, and it's now here we are. So
if that was the case, bad fucking call. If somebody really said to, if this wasn't Rachel's doing, where she was like, I'm gonna stay quiet on my own, and somebody said to her, hey, you gotta stay quiet, bad call. Just bad call on all parts. They really fumbled the whole thing. They really did. But hopefully they learn from their mistakes. Hopefully the franchise grows from this, and we'll see what happens in the future as they continue. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see who takes over.
It'll be interesting to see if he comes back for the Bachelorette. Like, I don't know what is going to happen.
I don't think he'll do the Bachelorette season.
You don't think so? I have no idea. I feel like that would be crazy if he was like, I'm stepping aside, and then just did the next season. Like, everyone would be like, well,
right.
You didn't really step aside.
Down, right. If he did that, he stepped aside for one event, the after the final rose, because everything else was already done. I can't imagine he would do the Bachelor, especially because that starts filming like in a matter of weeks. I think like they're gonna start that so soon, and I don't really think like that would almost look worse if you put out this whole thing and said, hey, I'm stepping aside, and we saw him again in like 4 weeks.
Yeah, that would just be like, well, you weren't really stepping aside. You just said that, and then you came back. So it's definitely, I'm sure they are scrambling right now to figure out what to do. Yeah. I don't know why. I can like just picture the room of all these people just screaming at each other. like they're just all yelling at each other because they fucked this up so bad.
Yep. So we'll see who becomes the new, or at least temporary or new host, whatever. Everybody's already talking about a lot of options, you know, see JoJo, Rachel, Wells, Caitlyn, everybody's kind of throwing around names of people that are associated with the franchise already.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I don't understand why like Wells or JoJo or Caitlyn would be the people to call to host the show. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I feel like they just got to go with somebody from the outside.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
that's also very possible.
And I don't know if Rachel Lindsay's going to want to do it at this point. She said she was going to step away from the franchise. She wasn't going to renew her contract, and who knows if she wants to be a part of hosting the show. So I guess we'll see what happens. Another person who's on an apology tour, Justin Timberlake, he released a statement on his Instagram from the Notes app about how he treated Janet Jackson and Britney Spears in the past after the Framing Britney Spears documentary basically exposed how poorly Justin Timberlake treated the situation. And also then people started talking about how poorly he treated the Janet Jackson situation.
Yeah. So Justin Timberlake posted, I've seen the messages, tags, comments, and concerns, and I want to respond. I am deeply sorry for the times in my life where my actions contributed to the problem, where I spoke out of turn and did not speak up for what was right. I understand that I fell short in these moments and in many others and benefited from a system that condones misogyny and racism. I specifically want to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson, both individually, because I cared for and respect these women, and I know I failed. I also feel compelled to respond, in part because everyone involved deserves better, and most importantly, because this is a larger conversation that I wholeheartedly want to be a part of and grow from. The industry is flawed. It sets men, especially white men, up for success. It's designed this way. As a man in a privileged position, I have to be vocal about this. Because of my ignorance, I didn't recognize it for all that it was while it was happening in my own life, but I do want to never benefit from others being pulled down again. I have not been perfect in navigating all of this throughout my career. I know this apology is a first step and doesn't absolve the past. I want to take accountability for my own missteps in all of this, as well as be a part of a world that uplifts and supports. I care deeply about the well-being of the people I love and have loved. I can do better, and I will do better. So like you said, Rhea, before when we were talking about Chris, you know, the written statement, it feels nice. It sounds nice when you read it out loud. would have maybe sounded better coming directly from Justin Timberlake's mouth.
Definitely would have sounded better. Yeah.
Probably. But this is what he gave us.
It's just so easy to type something on your phone.
Of course it is. It absolutely is. And Justin Timberlake is such a mega celebrity that he doesn't put out a statement like that without help from a publicist or whoever else that he needs help with writing something like that. So that's nice. Like, it's nice that he did that. Everybody was very pissed at him. And it's like, okay, thanks.
Here's the thing. And it's kind of the same thing with Chris Harrison. If you were able to speak what you spoke out loud on camera,
right,
you should be able to say your apology out loud on camera, right? Yeah. Like, why is it that the apology always comes in the form of a written notes app or a written statement, but everything they said wrong comes from their mouth on camera? Like, right. I just feel like it's so backwards, and it just, like we said before, it just would mean more, especially from somebody so big like Justin Timberlake, to get on camera and people could actually see his emotion, and it would mean more. And all the interviews he did in the past about Britney or Janet, they were on camera. He spoke those things out loud. Like, that's what I don't get with this. But once again, like, I think, this all depends on how Britney Spears and Janet Jackson feel about Justin Timberlake. I think that, and who knows who's running Britney's social, but she's always dancing to Justin Timberlake songs. Like, I don't know how Britney and Janet Jackson feel about Justin Timberlake. So it's really like up to them whether how they feel he treated them in the end, in the long run. But it's also like, what are you going to do now, Justin Timberlake? It's a confusing situation, this Justin Timberlake one.
Yeah. There have been reports that Britney Spears has no hard feelings towards Justin Timberlake. That that's what I've seen in written word in some stories. But yeah, it's another one of those things where here we have another written apology where at the end they promise to take responsibility, be held accounted for and for their actions, and to work to be better and to try and do the work and be better. So it's like, okay, that sounds nice. What are you going to do to change any of this? Like, what are the actions? Do we wait to see the actions? Hopefully the actions come. We don't know. This is all we get.
Right. It's kind of the same thing over and over again. And you know what I find strange is that people are never like, I, in recent years, have learned from that and have changed in my everyone, like Justin Timberlake, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he could have been like, and I'm not saying he should have been like, but say in recent years, he realized that he acted a certain way before all of this came out and started treating the people around him differently and started doing things, whatever it may be, I don't really know. But then release a statement being like, this is something I've thought about for years now. I have changed in recent years. I will continue to change. Like, everybody always acts like it's that day and going forward, they will change.
Right.
Like, you didn't change at all. Like, you didn't change at all in the past few, right? Like, you didn't change at all in the past few years. Like, that's always what's crazy to me, is that people really don't realize it until they're called out.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's these apologies do kind of always sound like this big come to Jesus moment where it's like, now I see the light. I get it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to be better. Never going to happen again. So look, it's here we are. Once again, another apology. He put it out. We'll see what happens. Jessica Biel, if anybody wanted to know, supports him fully. She commented, "I love you" with the heart on the statement. So that's, it's like, it's another thing. I hate always being like, hey, well, we'll see if there's some follow-up, but this is another situation that's kind of like that. Well, he apologized, and now we have to all wait and see.
Right. And it's also like, going back to what I just said about people like having this like, oh, I just realized today that I have been acting strange. It's like, Jessica Biel isn't like, hey, you know, I've been married to him for this many years. He's always treated me with respect. Like, where's that? And I'm not saying she has to defend him, but it's just always odd to me that they weren't thinking about this prior.
Right.
Because nobody makes an apology till they're publicly called out. But people do realize in their life that they were wrong before they're called out a lot of the times, I feel like.
And he's had to answer, like, Justin's been asked about these things in the past. Like, he's been asked about what went down with Janet Jackson in the Super Bowl. He's like, you know, and he looked like a dick doing that. Like, I forget what the interview was specifically but Kevin KFC had posted it on his Instagram of, he was asked about, you know, the fallout from Janet Jackson and how he was like involved in that whole situation. And just like the way he avoided the question.
He spun it, so he was like, well, like, we still haven't found the weapons of mass destruction, so basically, like, there are more important things. Like.
Yeah. Like, he was like, literally, like, exactly. Noah, can you play the clip of him speaking?
The Super Bowl incident was one of the bigger mistakes, I think was the word you used.
Super Bowl incident. You kind of have to have a sense of humor about all of this because, like you said, everybody takes this so seriously. Well, it's not that serious.
When you mistake,
the Middle East situation, that's serious.
That's serious. It's
you know,
scary serious. Yeah. Was it the performance or was it the aftermath of the Super Bowl that was the mistake?
I mean, I guess it was a little bit of both. Yeah. I think, in my honest, you know, opinion now, it was more the aftermath from me. And there could have been ways that I could have gone about it and handled it better.
What could you have done differently? I mean, you mean as far as when people said,
I think
he hung Janet out to dry?
That particularly, I mean, I don't take that, that's just people talking. Mm-hmm. And that's what they'll do. I don't take that to heart, but what I do take to heart in the bigger picture of it is I'm a part of a community. I'm a part of a community that consider themselves artists. And if there was something that I could have done in her defense that was more, that I could have realized, then I would have. Mm-hmm. But the other half of me thought to myself, wow, like, we still haven't found the weapons of mass destruction. And everybody cares about this. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of had the same reaction, you know, like, I was just kind of like, I was sort of dumbfounded at how crucified the whole thing was.
It's like, you hear it and it's like, okay, clearly you still didn't know then what had gone down was wrong. Was there any changes after that? And I can't imagine.
It's so crazy that
I can't imagine saying those things wouldn't weigh on you. Like, I can't imagine knowing that there is cold, hard footage of you speaking in that way about these women wouldn't make you think like, oh damn, they're gonna come for me eventually.
And not even they'll come for me, but like, hey, I'm going to actively not be this way. And then if I get called out, I can say all the things I've done to change or whatever it may be. Like, have you ever thought about things you did as a kid or something? And it could be the littlest thing, but you know you did something wrong. And then you think about it years later and, you know, you're like, that was wrong. And you learn from it. And you're like, you know, going forward, I'm not going to do that anymore. Yeah. Why is it that all these people, it's just like the day they're called out, that's when they're going to change. Yeah. Nobody's like, I've been changing. I don't know. It's a strange thing, but you know, Justin Timberlake, he was wrong. All the shit that came out about him and looking back on it, like he definitely did treat them poorly. But I'm sure he's great to his wife. Although that one video came out where he wasn't so great to his wife. So who knows? But if Jessica Biel is standing by him and if Britney Spears, you know, accepts his apology and then Janet Jackson, then we'll see what happens with Justin Timberlake going forward. We don't really see much of him anyway these days, but we'll see.
lot of celebrities flaunting their love this weekend. See all the posts. There's some new couples coming out, old couples making their debuts. We all knew that Scott Disick and Amelia Hamlin were together. Did not see full-blown footage from, their own accounts, you would say, of them together. But this weekend was the time. Miami, Scott's got blonde hair now. He went platinum. And he posted a picture of the two of them at dinner on Saturday night. She's posting him driving the boat. They're having a whole Miami weekend. And I got to tell you, Rhea, the picture of them walking on the beach together, Amelia looks fantastic. She's in her leopard bikini. It gave me deja vu because I feel like, besides Scott's blonde hair, I feel like we saw that exact photo of him and like Sophia Richie and almost in the same bathing suit, right? Like I feel like those pictures everybody talked about with Sophia and Scott was when Sophia was also in that leopard print bathing suit.
Yes. That was the exact thought that I had looking at the photos. I was like, why does this look like just Sophia Richie and Scott? Is it just because he's another 19-year-old? Is that why we feel this way? Listen, Scott Disick is going to Scott Disick. He's going to dye his hair blonde like that. He's going to date 19-year-olds. Nothing he does really shocks me at this point.
The people who criticize this, and it is what it is, Scott, now it's just like Scott is going to Scott. This is just what he's going to do. He's going to fucking dye his hair blonde. You can love it. You can hate it. I personally hate it, but it's, it is what it is. This is the shit he's going to do. And it's funny because everybody now pulls up the clip, and this sucks for Amelia. Like, you're just in that position where you don't know, but there's a clip of Amelia and Delilah doing a little interview on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills where they're joking about Delilah potentially like being with an older guy. And like Delilah's older than Amelia is. So like Delilah was like 18. Amelia, I think, was maybe around 16-ish in the clip. And Amelia's giving Delilah shit being like, oh, what are you going to do? Like date like a 35-year-old man? Like it's like giving her, and just, it's just funny because now the clip can so be used against her because it's like just footage of her saying that out loud on the show. And here she is now 19 years old dating Scott Disick. So it's just funny, but it's not shocking. Like, yeah, Scott Disick, of course he's going to date Amelia Gray. Of course he is.
I know. That's why I don't understand why people get mad at celebrities and Scott Disick who do things that they would do. Like what? Like how are you shocked that Scott Disick is in Miami dyeing his hair blonde, walking the beach with a 19-year-old? And why do people get so mad? Like it's not your life. But why are you so mad? It's always a mind-boggling thing when people are like, I can't believe he dyed his hair blonde and is with this young girl on the beach. And it's like, well, he's Scott Disick.
It seems like they're both having a good time.
Yeah, it seems like they're having a great time. And I think people get jealous when they are like around Scott Disick's age and they see the way that Scott Disick lives his life and then they see the way that they live their life and they're like, it's just totally opposite, right? Scott Disick, he has kids, but he can like leave them with a nanny and go to Miami and party and dye his hair blonde and do whatever. And then other people are just like stuck at home with their kids. They can't just leave them with a nanny. But that's what happens when you're rich and famous. We just watch on the outside. Just watch on the outside. Appreciate on the outside. Don't get too worked up over it.
Yeah, he also lives two different lives. Like he lives like Scott Disick, the dad life, where he has 3 children with Courtney, and they make it work and they do what they need to do. And then he also lives the Miami nightlife, platinum blonde dating 19-year-old life. Like,
I mean, it's bizarre, but at the same time, like we said a billion times, Scott Disick. Like what?
And Amelia, like, can't put any blame. Scott Disick is objectively very attractive.
Yeah, like Fran, if you dyed your hair pink and started going to Miami every weekend,
right,
and we're hanging out with a 50-year-old, not 15-year-old, 50-year-old, we'd be like, Fran, let's reel it in. Let's get back to the apartment. Let's do the podcast, and like, let's just stay at home and like live our normal lives.
It's a phase.
Yeah, you're going through a phase. We'll get through it. But with Scott Disick, it's like his phase is his whole life. This is Scott Disick's life. The Lord.
I would love to be on a fly on the wall on like a potential family dinner situation of like Amelia, Scott Disick, Delilah, y'all from Love Island, and Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlet. Like all sit down at the dinner table. Would love to be at that table.
You know what? I bet Lisa Rinna and Scott Disick have Kris Jenner and Scott Disick vibes, which makes me sad because it makes me feel like he's like cheating on Kris Jenner a little bit.
Right.
But I can picture him busting balls with Lisa Rinna just as much as she does Kris Jenner.
Right.
Kris Jenner.
I could definitely see that. So I don't know. It's just another male celebrity. I feel like the platinum blonde thing has been trendy for a lot of these guys recently in the last like year or so. We've seen a lot of celebrities do the platinum blonde for men. So
they've been doing it for years. Remember when Justin Bieber did
Scott's
it?
turn. I know. Well, I just feel like this
Joe
year,
Jonas did it.
Yeah. Ari from The Bachelor.
Yeah. People just are like, fuck it. I want to go platinum one day.
Yeah. Yep. And now it's Scott Disick's turn. He's just going to be flaunting his love with Amelia Gray. Big baby news. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are expecting their second child together. You know, Harry and Meghan live a different life now. They've stepped away from their royal duties. They're, in California in their home. And I just feel like they are creating the life that they wanted for themselves. They're, having their children and just hopefully are happy, because it seemed like their time in England and doing what they were doing was so hard for them, so hard for Meghan Markle specifically. So if they're in a good place now, they're growing their family, it's amazing. Archie will be a big brother.
Yeah, congrats to them. It's a confusing thing because your first thought is like, oh, they're going to have another royal baby. But then you remember they're not royals anymore. They are not royals anymore. We all have to get that through our heads. And it's still crazy when you think about it. When you really think about it and you're like, another royal baby. And then you're like, wait a second. Prince Harry he's not even Prince Harry. Harry and Meg. Good old Harry and Meg are having another baby.
When you look back and think about all the crazy pop culture, moments that have happened in the last decade and whatnot, it really is crazy that Harry and Meghan were like, we're fucking out. So we're the royal family. We're done. It's just something that we've never seen happen before. In this family, yes, people have left the family, but not anyone that close to the crown in a very long time. So they're just regular citizens. I'd wonder if it's just crazy to me. I guess you could just go to the store perhaps in California and bump into Prince Harry buying his groceries. I think it was Rob Lowe who did a late night show. I don't forget which one it was, and had said that he's like neighbors with Harry and Meghan, and that he saw Harry driving, and he said Harry had like really long hair and he followed
a ponytail.
Followed him down the street to his house, to check to make sure that it was him. So it's very interesting. It's a whole different life for them. And I'm also very happy. I'm very happy for Meghan. She's been open. They've been hot and cold on social media. Sometimes they're on social media, sometimes they're not. But she did speak about having a miscarriage last July and going through that. So now the fact that they're announcing their second pregnancy seems like they feel like they're in a good spot for, health-wise, and they wanted to make this announcement, and now they're, having a second baby. I think they just want 2 kids, or at least that's what the people say.
Well, congrats to them. Think about how fucked up the royal family has to be for them to leave, though. That's what I always think about. I don't praise the royal family because I know there's some shit going on that we don't know about, and that's why good old Harry and Meg, they left. and one day it's all going to come out.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's some shady shit going on. And on top of that, the British tabloids absolutely destroyed Meghan Markle to no end. So she wanted to get the fuck out of there, and you can't really blame her for that either, because it was really that bad. When we get the mega documentary about everything that went down with them leaving, it'll be fascinating.
It will be, and I actually feel happy that their children will get to grow up in a semi-normal life. Not normal because they're still Harry and Meghan, but more normal than growing up in the royal family.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, man. When those kids start to, like, go to school, you got Prince Harry in the pickup line. Like, it's just...
Yeah, and they're like, oh. And then when kids bully them, they'll be like, you could have been a prince. Yeah, your dad left. And they just,
oh my God.
They just fucking royally bully them.
Yeah, it's kids are mean. Kids are mean.
They really are. They really are, and they'll hold on to that. They'll hold on that they left the royal. They were basically kicked out, left the royal family.
Right. It was like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right. Like the kids could have grown up in the royal family and been like, "Mom, Dad, I fucking hated every second of this. Like, why'd you do this to me?" And then Meghan and Harry left. And when Archie, an unknown other sibling, gets to be an older age, they could be like, "Oh, we could have been royals." Like, you never. Yeah. It's. But this is definitely Harry and Meghan, for sure, made the best move for their family. They've said it many times. This was what they needed to do, and now hopefully their little California life is everything they wanted to be. They just continue grow their family. It's nice to see another baby. I hope he or she gets to know their cousins. That's what I also always think. They're never going to see their cousins. No play dates with Charlotte and all the other babies.
And that's what happens.
George and Charlotte and Louis. I almost spaced on their names for a second and got mad.
Sounds like you want to hang out with them more than you want the kids to be able to hang out with them.
Yeah, probably. Probably, yeah. We have an amazing interview with Melissa Gorga coming up. But first, guys, there's a lot of seltzers out there. We've tried a bunch of them. We've tried them all. Coors Seltzer is the one for us. We love Coors Seltzer. There's nothing more refreshing than cracking open that Coors Seltzer, taking that first sip. The flavors are amazing. They got black cherry, mango, lemon, lime, and grapefruit. I could talk about all these flavors all day long. Black cherry, always consistent, always a good one, always a classic. You want a good seltzer? Black cherry, fantastic flavor. Mango, different, little funky, good for the summer, good for really any time, but super refreshing. Lemon lime, also amazing. Can drink it whenever you like. And my personal favorite, grapefruit. The grapefruit is refreshing, crisp. You get it right out of the fridge and it's nice and cold. Maybe you pour it over ice. It is absolutely delectable. These Coors Seltzers, I'm telling you guys, go get them, because right now you can actually get your first 12-pack on Coors Seltzer. You can go to CoorsSeltzer.com/chicks. That's CoorsSeltzer.com/chicks. Try it this week. Let us know what you think. Make sure to tag at Coors Seltzer in your posts. And guys, beer purchase is required. Offer varies by state. Must be 21 or older. Visit promorules.com/Coors Seltzer rebate for details. This ends April 30th, 2021. And always remember to celebrate responsibly. It's coming from the Coors Brewing Company in Fort Worth, Texas.
All right, everyone. We are here with a special guest, Melissa Gorga from Real Housewives of New Jersey. She's been on the show before. We love her. Welcome back, Melissa.
Hi, girls. How are you?
We are doing great now that we are talking to you. We're so excited for the new season of Real Housewives of New Jersey. It's coming soon, Wednesday, so we can't wait to watch. How are you doing? How are you feeling having a new season come out? Do you get really nervous right before a new season comes out?
I mean, for this season particularly, I feel like I'm in the hot seat the whole season, so this one's making me nervous. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of relationship stuff that goes on with all of us, not just Joe and I, but with all of us this season. I don't know if it was the damn pandemic, to be honest with you. I don't know what made us all crazy and want to kill our spouses. But honestly, it was so real and like raw, and you can just see everyone's like tension with their spouses, to be honest. It's like a lot of that. I mean, and of course the housewives, we always, there's always drama between us too, but like you can really sense like the relationship drama. And I don't know, it's got to have some COVID attached to that.
I mean,
I would think
absolutely. There's got to be some pent up anger. You're spending a lot of time together, probably more often than usual. When was this season filmed?
This season was filmed all summer. So I'm excited because you guys I bring you down to I just got a new shore house that Joe and I just rebuilt. And so we bring you there. We do a lot of filming there this summer. We're outdoors, obviously, the whole time. It was so annoying. We would have like full makeup done and then we'd have to put a mask on. So it was so different with COVID. And we were like trying not to complain about putting
right. Did you have like your whole face coming off when you took the mask off?
I was like, oh my God, you have to like put your lips. It just was a hot mess. You always had like lines going down your cheeks. But I would say that it was actually, they were so great with us. None of us got COVID during filming, which is amazing. We all stayed clean the whole time. We were getting tested twice a week. So that was kind of like the perks of being on reality TV, was that we actually had a nurse testing us all the time. So I was like, well, this is a plus. Here we go. Here's one of the pros opposed to the cons of being on reality TV. But we stayed safe. They did a really good job. They followed like all the protocols. So it was crazy though. It was definitely a different world. We couldn't have like our friends. Normally we have all our friends come to our houses, and our parties and our events just seemed a little bit more quiet. So it was different. It was definitely a different season.
Yeah. And I bet also a plus of it is like you said, you have somebody testing you constantly, but also you can be with people because it's your job. It's reality TV. You got to hang out with each other. You got to go to the shore house. So there's also a plus with that.
Yeah. I mean, there is a plus. It's really like, listen, I've been a housewife for 11 years. It's really crazy. Like, I know when the season's crazy and when it's going to be really good and when it's like one of those seasons. And I knew filming this, that this is what it was. I just knew. I knew. So it's one of those. Like, I filmed seasons before where I'm like, this is a little quiet. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. No, this one is ridiculous. Like, it really is. I don't know if we were all just like cooped up and needed to get the hell out and just scream at someone. I don't know. It's deep too. It's not just like a bunch of women screaming and yelling, because I can't stand watching that either, by the way. So it's like deeper drama. It's like deep rooted, So.
Where does this fall on the scale for you of past seasons with drama? Because I think I've seen a lot of people online just from watching the trailer be like, wow, this kind of seems like this might be the most we've seen from Melissa. Like you've always been very, and regardless of family stuff, I felt like not neutral, but the most,
I always say
I don't know, like civilized, like that's not the right word, because I feel like it's mean to the other women.
Most able to go into civilization.
Yeah. Yeah. But everyone's talking about how crazy this season is. And I wonder, like, compared to some of the seasons past, where you think it falls.
Again, I will say for me, it's definitely a more real season. And not that I was hiding anything before. I just think in the last 2 years, things have changed a little bit. The dynamic has changed a little between Joe and I. My life has changed a little, just with like work and like what is going on in my life. And I think that Joe just has he likes to hold on. He doesn't like change. He likes to hold on to the same. And as I become a little bit more independent, and year after year, it just keeps getting a little bit more elevated, I think it stresses him out. And I think I get more frustrated that he's stressed out about it. So it's hard. It's not easy. Listen, guys, I've been on reality TV in a relationship for 11 years.
Yeah.
I'd say we're doing a pretty damn good job. I mean,
yes.
If you compare these housewives, I actually think we're the longest standing housewives married couple on reality TV, on the Housewives, like on reality for Housewives, which is, like, all right, so we're shaking it up a little right now. We're having a moment. I feel like this summer was rough for us, and it's not even like, we can't even deny it. You're gonna like see it clearly, but but it's okay. It's real. It's okay. Like no relationship is perfect. I never said my relationship was perfect. And now you will see that it's not.
Yeah.
Right. And do you feel like, because I feel like in this trailer, you see Joe like blow up at the end, right? And people are like, oh my God, Joe blew up at the end. But for me watching it, I come from a very Italian family. Everybody like, that's like a normal day where somebody like explodes like that. So do you feel like for you, it's kind of like, that's whatever. And then everybody else watching is like, whoa, he really blew up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, not that he does that every day. No.
Yeah, not every day, but you know what I mean.
I'm used to the slight, like, temper tantrums. And I did grow up the same, you know, we're very passionate. We're very emotional. So when someone freaks out, like, it's almost like, oh, he loves me. It's like one of those, like, feelings, but I get what you're saying. It's very cultural opposed to, like, if it shocks you to death or not. You know what I mean? Like, if it shocked the shit out of you, I don't know. But like, I feel like everyone at home is probably like, oh my God. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, so I get what you're saying. Yeah. But he was really like, I felt bad for him that night. He was so upset. Like, that's one of those things where you'll see, like, it had to do with Teresa, and we're just like, damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. And at this point we decided we're just going to don't now. We're not going to, we're just done. So I think he was very frustrated whenever anything has to do with Joe and like his family or his parents or his sister or his feeling. He's so like, it's like, it's sad almost, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what that night was, and we'll see. But yes, I know they end the whole trailer with Joe like banging two hands on the table, and even I'm like, oh, like it's just, he's passionate.
Do you think
he does it out of love?
Yes, absolutely. Do you think Joe Gorga is like the seventh housewife on the show? I mean, I feel like he's always involved.
He is, or they involve him, or they talk about him, and it's just like he's always right there. And sometimes I say to him, like, you know, you don't have to, like, you could just like sit down. And he's like, I'm always here. Like, what the hell? Like, so yes, I would say Joe is the seventh house. And guess what? If he's rated like the number one, like he's the fan favorite, by the way. Like no matter what he does, nobody cares. Like he could be the biggest ass. He could do whatever he wants, and everyone loves Joe because deep down inside, he's got the biggest heart. He's such a good guy. So it's like he can do anything, and everybody loves him. You know?
Yeah.
What was quarantine like for you guys? Because you said you filmed this all in the summer. Everybody went on lockdown around March. So were you guys fighting a lot during quarantine, and then the summer it was kind of like all on tape, or do you think it blew up more in the summer?
I think that a lot of the tensions between him and I was just super busy right before the quarantine. I would say like that whole year and right up until we were not allowed to like leave our homes anymore. So busy, like out a lot. Couple nights a week, like really working, really dove into everything, was really in demand with a lot of things and brands, and was working. And it was building up. We were starting to stress, and it's normal, but like that's what was happening. And then bam, here comes the quarantine, and we're both just in the house, home. And it's like he would throw a fly comment, and you'll see that's almost what happens on one of the episodes. He just says a little snarky comment, and it's so obvious, like he's being passive aggressive, and it's so obvious that and I just lose it. Where normally I wouldn't. Normally I'd be like, okay, we'll talk about this when we get home. And I was like, no, asshole, we're going to talk about this now. Like, cause I'm sick of this. So that's kind of like what happened. And it was raw and real. And it's like, you know, when you watch the shore episodes, we go down the shore for a couple days with everyone to my shore house. I think I'm going to close my eyes for the whole 3 episodes that it is, and make me wake me up when it's over.
And we are going to be locked in because we love when the housewives go on vacation.
Yeah. Feel my pain with me for that. But yeah, I'll be under my bed somewhere, just like waiting for it to be over.
How did your relationship with the other women start off, like film? Did you guys all start filming everyone kind of in a good place?
I really didn't like Jennifer in the beginning, because if you look how we ended in the reunion, she's just
wasn't great. Yeah.
Such an odd human.
Yeah.
It's like, like everything. She's like picking on me. She tells me I love myself. Yes, I do. You should love yourself as well. Like she's just always like looking at me or something. I'm like, you know, so, but I will say she kind of came around. I wasn't like excited to see her at all, but then it came around as we started filming, and she, you know, she gets softer, apologizes a little bit. So you'll see all of that go down. But yeah, I feel like we were all in a good place. And even if we weren't, it was like my father-in-law had just passed away. So we were all, you know, it was just like, it wasn't the time to like rip each other's heads off. Instead, we rip our spouses' heads off. That's what we did.
Yeah, and we, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's going to happen.
A different scene.
Yeah, instead, all of our husbands were like in the line of fire. So
they deserve it.
What? Go ahead, Rhea. Sorry, go ahead, Rhea. Sorry.
No, you got it. Go for it.
Okay. So the relationship with the women, you said you guys all started out pretty okay. And it seems like a lot of the trailer, we're going to see a new single Teresa. She's dating. I think now on social media, currently we know that, you know, she has a boyfriend and things are looking great. So how was filming with single Teresa?
I mean, she was like a wild woman for a little while. She was just like licking things and like wanting to touch things, and everything had like a sexual twist. I was like, this girl needs to have sex. Like, she's dying. Like, she was just like, everything turned into like horny. If you showed her a banana, she's like, you know what you can do with that banana? I'm like, oh my God. Like, she was talking about vibrator. I mean, it was.
Yeah, we saw the vibrator, the dildos coming out.
Yeah, it was just, she needed to find a man. Or she was, you know, she was making things for man. But yeah, she was just, and now she found one. So that's good. We'll see how that goes, you know, at the beginning. And, you know, you never know anybody that well in the beginning. So we'll see how that pans out.
Right. How does the family feel about him? Have they met him?
I've met him. Yes, we've all met him. He seems like a nice guy. But like I said, you never know. It's the beginning. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you don't want to let somebody in too soon, because as soon as you do that, they do something wrong.
You don't need any new family members. So it's like, we're not looking for any. So if it happens and it works out good for them, God bless. I truly want her to be happy. I want the girls to be happy. Maybe if she's happy, she'll be less agitated all the time. So it would be great for her to just be content.
Mm-hmm. She just needs some sex to be less agitated all the time.
Like, is that what your frustrations were all these years? Why you lash out like a crazy person? It's because you need sex.
Yeah, sexual frustration, real thing.
Really? Yeah.
And Teresa may have had it.
Yes.
What is obviously you and Teresa are always going to be close, but in this trailer, it seemed like, you know, at the end, Joe, he blew up a little bit, you blew up a little bit. And do you think that your fights with Teresa have a lot to do with Joe Giudice, or do you think it's kind of just like you know, it is what it is. You guys are sister-in-laws. It's always going to be that way.
Do I think that Joe Giudice had a lot to do with it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that she's one of those people who is influenced pretty easily. I think that Joe and Joe were just doomed from the beginning. They could never get it together. And I think that, you know, there's jealousy always played like a huge part in like our relationship, and the reason why it wouldn't work great all the time. And I always thought it was ridiculous and like stupid. And I thought it was sad, quite honestly, because we had so many kids that are the same age and we should all just be like hanging out and doing lunch. But I do think that who you're married to does influence you. So it is what it is. But I'm not saying a word about Joe Giudice, and you will see why when you watch. I had nothing. I have no opinions. I'm good.
So I can ask if the rumors about his Italian TV show are true?
I don't know. Between me and you, I don't know. But I would say that would be great, and I would watch it, to be honest, just because he's so like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Here's the mountains, here's the goats. Like, I don't know. I might watch that for like the first couple episodes, right? Like,
yeah, it would be entertaining.
Yeah. I actually think it would be funny. So I'm all down for watching the Italy Joe Giudice reality show.
Yeah.
I can. Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah. I think there's such a mystery around what's going on. So the show would definitely give us an insight on that. The end of season 10, we were still getting some Danielle drama. Danielle was still kind of involved.
She always comes back somehow.
Always. And I wanted to know, like, is there any Danielle in season 11, or are we kind of like, let's end this?
No, you are not going to see Danielle. I think we're.
Oh, thank God.
I think she's officially left the building. Yes.
You know what?
I feel like she was just a fly that kept like coming around that you guys swat away, but then just kept coming back.
Between her and Kim D, I'm like, get the hell. Like the other night I went to dinner with Joe. We were just sitting at the bar. Guess what? Kim D sitting at the bar. My skin is crawling. Like she's watching me. She's looking at me. I'm like, oh, you don't have anything to say because there's no cameras here, right? You crazy. Yeah. Like, no, she just sat there quietly with her men at the bar, and Joe and I are like drinking a bottle of wine, just sitting there. And I'm like, oh, she's got nothing to say because there's no cameras on her today, right? I hate her.
It's just
Melissa,
totally.
I love how honest you are. Like you are seriously my favorite because you're so fucking honest, and it's great. Like you're just like, this is how I feel about that person, and that's that.
That's it. It's like, come on, I'm over like pussyfooting around, to be honest with you. Like I'm over it. Like just this is what you don't like it, good.
Yeah.
I have no time anymore. Like I just can't. I feel like I deep inside, believe it or not, I'm very like soft. I'm very sweet. Like I care. I worry about people. I do. But like I learned that you just get friggin' stepped on. Like the nicer you are. So I started to just be like, listen, I'm not a bad person. I would never hurt anyone, but I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. And guess what? I don't care if you agree with me or not. Where in the beginning on the Housewives, I used to really feel upset. Like if someone tweeted at me and they were like, you're horrible. You're the worst sister-in-law in the world. Like you should jump off a bridge. I'm like, Johnny, want me to die? Like I would cry. And now I'm like, yeah, well, you should jump off the bridge too. Like I don't care anymore.
Yeah. In one ear and out the other.
Yes. It makes it so much easier. It really does. Because you just do you and be done with it. You know?
Yeah. So social media just is like people's comments, they don't bother you anymore?
No. I mean, never. And don't, thank God I have so many great, like, I don't really get a lot of that. I've never been like subject to that. But when they do, which they're out there, the trolls are out there. I don't in one ear out the other,
Yeah.
I don't even like block them or delete them. I don't do anything. I just leave it,
Right. Because when you block or delete, then they're like, they saw it. When you
block or delete, they're so excited. They're like, oh my God, she knows I'm alive. She just read my thing. And so it's like, oh yeah, I don't even give them that satisfaction.
Yep.
Yep, definitely. So obviously it's all the same women coming back, but I did see that there are kind of like some new friends that are getting into the mix. What are these ladies like, and do they kind of mix up the dynamic?
Yeah, so we do have a couple friends that you will meet. They came in, and I'm going to say I wasn't the biggest fan, and you'll see that. But I think it turns a little throughout the season. Listen, Jersey is, and Andy Cohen will tell you this, one of the hardest casts to. That's why we don't change often. We're pretty solid with our cast. Like where you'll see like Beverly Hills and all these other ones. They grab people all the time. Like we don't grab many because it's so hard to mesh with us. It really is, like, because we're all true deep friends and family and know each other somehow. So it's just very, very hard to cast our show. So, but we'll see. You never know. I feel like I'm always wanting new, fresh faces. I do. I'm always like, bring them on, young and hot and strong and crazy. Like bring them. It's just, they're not, I don't know where they are. It's hard to find them.
Bring them, and then we'll decide if we like them, but you can bring them.
Yeah, bring them and let me evaluate.
Yeah. We also see in the trailer, you talk about, I think you mentioned birth control to Joe. And I don't know if it was like him or if they cut that together or whatever, but it seems like in this season, you may be talking a little bit more openly about, your kids and they're growing up, and you have a daughter who's growing up. What was that like now for her? Because also she has all these cameras around her growing up, and for you as her mother.
I have to say, all three of my kids grew up on reality TV. Literally, like from the time they were born, they still have to deal with it, which I will say we've done a really good job of keeping them grounded and level-headed. They They don't even flinch at the show. It's not like a part of their lives. They're not like, hey, I'm so-and-so from that show. Like none of them. They all could care less. I would say my little one is the most like he would turn it on for someone because he loves to make people laugh. But yeah, it's not easy. And obviously having a teenage daughter growing up, and you kind of have to go through the facts of life with her. And, you know, sex is a real thing when you're a sophomore. Let's be real. Like it's a conversation. It's something people are thinking about. The boys are thinking about it. It's a conversation. So my mother never had the conversation with me. So I'm like, I need to talk to her about this. And to do something like that off the cameras would seem not right, because it's like, I might as well put it out there. So yeah, you're definitely going to see us talk about that. And then of course I mentioned to Joe, like there's always birth control too. And he would rather kill himself than hear something like that. Like he just like, he doesn't even want to hear the word birth control or sex for that matter. He's like, she has a boyfriend. He's like, a what? Uh-huh. I'm like, a boyfriend. It's like, you're a sophomore. You had a girlfriend, I'm sure, when you were a sophomore, but he's like, no. I'm like, no, you did. You definitely did. So yeah, that's definitely a struggle. He's that Italian daddy that just thinks that she's going to stay in her room and he wants to put bars on the windows. Yeah. You know, but he's in the wrong generation because
yeah. Well, thankfully she has you that you can, you know, he doesn't have to know the conversations.
For her. Like I really am, and I have her back, and as long as she's safe and does the right thing, and you know, I have to talk to her, not just sex, it's drinking too, it's alcohol, it's everything. It's like I need her to be aware of all of these things, and of course, and this is, you know, for her it's a little bit more stressful because she is on reality TV. So if she does slip up like normal teenagers do, her slip up might be public, which is sad for me and for her. Do you know what I mean? So she's at a party and has one of those nights where she does something stupid or says something stupid. You know, you never know. So I always have to remind her. And that's kind of not fair. That's where it's not cool to be on reality TV, you know, because who wants to be that girl in high school? We've all had nights that we don't want anyone to know about or see.
Correct.
But, you know, for her, she has to be a little bit more careful. You know?
Yeah. We've seen it with past housewives. I mean, before Bella Hadid was Bella Hadid, and her mom was on the Housewives, and she got the DUI, and she was like 17. It's like that was like blown up all over the place.
Yeah. Remember that? Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah. That was crazy.
She was like the star that she is
right. Now, right? Exactly. Like she was just she was just Yolanda's daughter on the show. So yeah. It definitely is crazy, but it's fun to watch you guys have those conversations because you can see both sides and she's getting the support. And then you also laugh because, you know, you see Joe being like, what is this? What is this crop top? Is that her belly button? Like freaking out.
That's all everybody wears is crop tops. Like they wear like sweats and crop tops every day. And he's like he's not good for him. Thank God he has 2 boys and 1 girl, because I'm like, just like, I got her. Just let me go. I got this.
Right.
You know? He's like, it's too much for him. He can't handle it.
Yeah. It's so, and you guys just went through a move, right? Like I saw on Instagram, you just moved. How did that all go?
Crazy. We just sold our house. It was for sale for a couple years. We did move. We are in a rental right now, and we are building a new house. So yeah, we're in Franklin Lakes now. So we moved to a different side of town, and my kids are going to go to high school over here. They're switching. And so this is where I knew they were going to go to high school. So I wanted to get over my boys too. So I wanted to move out of the town before that all started.
Right. Makes sense logistically. And how's everything going with Envy? Like I'm sure with COVID things got kind of hard, but how's all that been?
Yeah, it was hard for a minute because obviously the brick and mortar, no one can come shop. And we do get a lot of fans that come through the doors and all our repeat customers. But thank God for online. I will say, like, my online has always been amazing. I knew what people wanted at the time. I knew they wanted the loungewear and they wanted cute robes and cute slippers, and everybody wanted to look cute at home. And so I got a ton of it, and it did really, really well because it's like loungewear was the thing, activewear, loungewear. We all wanted like the matching hoodie with the matching sweats and sit home all day and look cute. So I got a ton of them, and everyone loved it, you know.
That's great.
Yeah. Can you tell everybody where they can shop online?
Yes, envybymg.com. And we have so much cute stuff right now. We really do everything from like jeans to dresses to the loungewear to like stuff to go to the gym in. It's been really great. And I have to say, Envy just celebrated 5 years that we've been in business. So that's crazy to me that I've been doing this for 5 years and it's more successful every single year. So I'm grateful. And I do feel like throughout the pandemic, people really wanted to support the small businesses. Like we actually, like when they were going to spend their money, they would come to me. They would come to the small businesses, which I could tell and appreciate. So I love everyone for that.
Yeah. The stuff is so cute. I see it on Instagram all the time. Yeah. So you can go shop that. We're so excited for the new season. I actually binged like from season 1 during lockdown because everybody was
doing that. I was getting so
everybody was doing it. And there's some earlier seasons that I just had never watched because I was kind of too young to like really know what was happening. Right. So I started from the beginning and I did it for New Jersey. I did it for Beverly Hills. I'm doing New York right now. Wow. So it's just been, I'm really going through it.
You're invested right now. You're into
I'm really invested right now, but I really think New Jersey by far is the all-time best just because you guys are the most real. Like you really show us your lives and they're sometimes with like, love Beverly Hills, glamorous, beautiful, whatever. But like, it's all glam. And when sometimes it gets to be like their families and their real life, they're like, oh no, we can't talk about that. I'm like, that New Jersey would never do that.
Right. New Jersey will just show it all. We'll just show you exactly what's happening over here.
Yeah. New Jersey was like how I got introduced to Bravo when I was younger. Like that was like one of the first shows I watched on Bravo because my parents watched it and they were like, oh, they're just like us. And like they would watch it. And when Fran told me she was watching it back, I was like, just wait for the table throw. Just wait for the table throw and you'll be locked in.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I'm glad you guys love it. Trust me, this season will probably be your favorite. So.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. So everybody can watch on Bravo Wednesday, February 17th, Real Housewives of New Jersey premiere season 11 at 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So Melissa, thank you so much for coming to talk to us. We love talking to you and boy, are we excited to watch this season.
Yes, thank you guys. Love talking to you guys too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa. Make sure everybody shop Envy.
Yes, go to Envy. Bye guys.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. We hope you had a lovely Valentine's Day, whether you spent it with someone special, whether you spent it alone. We hope you treated yourself well, and we hope you have a fantastic week. We will be back on Wednesday with our usual Bachelor recap. Love you guys. Have a great day.